That's good. We are on live right now. So it will take just a few seconds, a few minutes for the audience to start joining us in our system actually. So slowly they will be joining us. Anyway, by this time we can talk about how is the weather over there in Maladalan? Is it snowing there?
No, actually, we were hoping for some snow soon because right now we did have some snow last week. It
Okay.
was nice and white and yeah, bright in that
All
sense.
right.
If November can be bright in Sweden, it's a dark month. But
Yeah, exactly.
now it's like really it's a little bit rainy, moist, and so on. But hopefully, towards the weekend, we'll have some snow again.
Exactly. And as Christmas is coming on, without snow I cannot expect Christmas actually.
Oh, I know. It's
I
the
mean,
Christmassy feeling. It does indeed. It becomes better with snow. It does. But
exactly, it should
I
be
think
always
the
snow.
last couple of years it snowed like after Christmas, like the day after Christmas or the days
Yeah,
after. Oh, yeah,
it happens sometimes,
annoying.
so anyway, so maybe the audience will start joining us. We can see a few of the audience have just started joining us, and slowly there will be more audiences. So dear audiences, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, like whoever have joined with us from different countries. So today we'll be talking about study in Sweden, higher studies in Sweden, and mostly about Mälardalen University in Sweden. We do have a special guest with us. It is Johanna Forstum from Mälardalen University. She's with us today. So please feel free to ask your questions, whatever you do have. So at the very beginning, I will request Johanna, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here, Avijit. My name is Joanna, like you mentioned. I work at the Mälardalen University. We call ourselves MDU in short. So that's what I will be saying today, mostly. I'm working with student recruitment or international student recruitment, and I've done so for quite a while. So I can answer most of the questions that you have, and I hope to be able to present the university to you in a good way.
Thanks, Johanna, for introducing yourself to us and with our audiences. So now I will request you to have show the presentations about the university, so students can have a look actually.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I will do so. Let's just hope that the technicalities work.
Exactly. Now it will be working.
This is always a surprise, really.
Yes.
So there, I
Yes,
think you
it
should
is
see
here. Yeah,
my
we can
screen
see
now.
that it is visible.
Perfect. That is good. So MDU. I'm going to show you a little bit and tell you a little bit more about the university, who
Please.
we are, and yeah, why you should choose to study at us or at our university. Uh, so first of all, I would like to show you and tell you about our new vision. This might, I mean, we do have a longer version as well, but this is the vision in short. And I'm in a second going to show you an even shorter one that we use in the day-to-day work. But this is a fairly new vision, but it really tells something about the university. We are a progressive and collaborative university where together we shape a sustainable future. And as you can see, there are three keywords here: progressive, collaborative, and sustainable. And those three words are really like the center of our focus at the university. And it like sort of it goes through all businesses at the university, everything that we do. We ask ourselves, is this progressive? We always look for new ways to collaborate and deepen the collaboration with the partners that we already have. And also sustainability is, well, for entire Sweden, but especially for us as university, is key. So I'm going to tell you more about these things as well. But what do we use in the day-to-day work? Dare to challenge, dare to be challenged. This is also, this sort of breaks down the whole vision into short sentences. We dare to ask the questions like, why do you do this? Why is this good? How does this help to be, to create a sustainable future, etc. But we also dare to be asked these questions. We want you as students to ask us these questions. We want our partners and the society to ask us the questions. So why do you do this? Why do you do it this way? Is there another way that things can be done to optimize things? So this is something that you're going to notice when you are a student at the university, because we really live these words every day. Some more strengths that we have, like I mentioned, collaboration. We work both with the industry and the business area, but also the public sector to a large extent. I'm going to show you in a bit the partnerships that we have. We conduct world-class research in several areas. We put down a lot of efforts when it comes to the teaching methods that we have. We want our students, you guys, to be progressive, of course, but also that when you come out in the professional world, in the market later, we'd want you to really, like from day one, be able to contribute to the company. Or if you start your own enterprise, that's also a possibility, of course. And we are sure that you don't necessarily do that by just sitting in a classroom or even in a big lecture hall together with 200 other students, one in a crowd, and just, be fed with knowledge. That's not how we work. You might have one or two classes with that as well. But mainly what we do in the teaching methods here at the university, at MDU, we have like teamwork. We have seminars. We have lab works, depending on what program you're studying. So you're much more active in the teaching and in the program as well. You're not just sitting there being fed with knowledge. This also obviously puts a bit of a responsibility on you yourself, because it's your own responsibility to get that knowledge, to be active, to collaborate with your team mates in your class, etc. And you're also graded by these elements. So it is a little bit different to study in Sweden, but it's different in a very good way. And it's really appreciated by the employers once you graduate. When I said that you're not just one in a crowd, I really meant it as well. We intentionally keep the classes small in most of our courses, just to ensure the closeness between the teacher, the professor, and the student. We want the best possible knowledge exchange between these two. And again, we don't think that you get that by sitting in the back of a big lecture hall in a class of 200 and 250 students. And the way that we work and the skills and the knowledge that the students get here, this is known by employers and appreciated as well. And also we have a quite active student community with both national and international students. We have 2 campus cities, as you can see here on the map. Västerås, nice little Swedish name there, and Eskilstuna, both about an hour away from the capital, Stockholm. And in total, we have about 20,000 students. And there are some pictures from teaching and just students hanging out in the library in Eskilstuna. There with the stairs there, 2 students chatting there. is from the library in Västerås. And the student busy with something there is from, I think he might have been in robotics, the robotics program. So, and I mentioned that we collaborate a lot. We do have some strategic partnerships with partners. We have many, many more than this, but these are our strategic partners. I trust that you can see some familiar names here. ABB, probably heard about, Volvo, Hitachi, and there are also some other more local ones. Eskilstuna, that's the energy company in Eskilstuna, the municipalities in Eskilstuna and Västerås, and so on. But these ones, they're both, some of them are big international players, but also some regional and local. So we like to spread the partnerships. Let's see here. I'll put this in here. Yeah, to be a little bit using a cliche, we say that collaboration is in our DNA. We have done so. We have collaborated a lot from start. And as I mentioned, we always look to deepen and expand the collaboration. How can we optimize this? Can we take in a guest lecturer from one of our partners in this course? Or how do this other course benefit from a real world project with another partner, for example, so that you as a student benefit from the collaboration in your studies? So we have, I don't want to go into detail because it's going to take the whole evening. We don't have that much time. But yeah, you as a student, you are going to notice the collaboration. A little bit depending on which program you're studying, but most certainly through the job fairs that we arrange, and sometimes scholarships that we have, etc. The labs set up by the partners, and where the partners sometimes they spend time themselves conducting some research as well. And we are also quite an international university. We have international collaborations and partnerships throughout the world. In Europe, where probably we could say that we started. It's easiest because we are obviously a European university as well. But we also have an extensive collaboration in Latin America, in South America, and also in Asia as well, in India and China. So we do have partnerships with companies, but as a student in most of the programs here at the university, even if you are an international student, you can still use these partnerships once you are here to go on exchange, for example, for one semester. It's the most common if you are an international student, but there are even students who go for 2 semesters. And this is a great opportunity that I really recommend you to do. So what programs can you choose at MDU? Well, for bachelors, we offer analytical finance, which is sort of a quantitative analysis program, focusing a lot on maths, I would say. We have international business management, which is basically what it sounds like. It's business administration and marketing, etc., management as well, with an international dimension. We also have a quite famous little section of the school. It's not the biggest one, but they have a marvelous little program in chamber music with 4 different specializations. So vocals, opera, string, and chord. Wind instruments. My mistake there. So, and for masters, we also have some programs. I'd say that most of our international programs are, as you can see, on master's level. And this is the same for most Swedish universities, actually. We have international marketing, a 1-year master's program. We have embedded systems, intelligent embedded systems within computer science. Software engineering is also in computer science. Engineering mathematics is, as it sounds like, applied mathematics, which you can use no matter which field in engineering you would like to work in. You have great use of this program. Financial engineering is sort of an add-on and build on to the analytical finance bachelor's program. Many students go on from that, jumping to financial engineering. A lot of students from that program working in the banking sector or the investment companies and these kind of things. It's also about quantitative finance, a lot of maths as well. Innovation and design is a broad master's program where you can choose a little bit yourself which specialization you want to deepen yourself in throughout the program. This one accepts students from a lot of different areas, which in turn creates a quite dynamic situation in the classroom. Really great discussions and teamwork where perspectives from different areas are included, which is really cool, actually. The production and logistics part, which is the full name, it's a long one, product and process development, production and logistics. This is also a really good program for example, if you have a background in mechanical engineering, don't know exactly which field you want to work in. This program, the knowledge that you get in this program can be used in any sector in the industry. We have students working in the automotive sector. We have students in the pharmaceutical, in the fashion, everywhere, because the skills and the knowledge that you learn here can be implemented anywhere, really. We even have several, but I know specifically one student. He worked a couple of years in the automotive industry, and then after the program, and then he went back to his home university or his former university before studying at MDU, and became a teacher there in these areas. So it's really cool. He's from India, by the way. Sustainable energy systems, very interesting and popular during these days. It connects a lot to the research that we do within future energy, where we are one of the top universities in that field when it comes to research. So this program, it deals a lot with renewable energy sources, etc., and how you can optimize and find and use the energy in a wise way. And we also have one online master's program, which is environmental engineering for sustainable development. And a lot of students, when we talk about online, a lot of students ask the questions, but I want to study this program from the campus, even though it's online. I would like to take part in it from the campuses, but unfortunately an online master's program doesn't meet the requirements for a residence permit to Sweden. So this is something to keep in mind. Otherwise, it's a very popular and good program. So just very short about research and the current situation. The Swedish government has really shown lately that they have a lot of trust in MDU and us as a research university. So they have increased our research funding with quite a lot of money, to be honest, 132 million Swedish kroners. It's a lot. I don't know the conversion rate, so from the top of my head, but it's a lot of money. So this is going to affect us. We already had a significant funding base already from the partners and from the own funding that we do, or fundraising. But this obviously is going to help a lot when we increase the research. So what we are looking at is to expand the research. We're going to hire more PhD students. We're going to focus on potentially different research areas, etc. So it's going to be noticeable over the upcoming 2-3 years. And here are our current research specializations. Future energy, as I mentioned, we have a big section with health and welfare, also connected to technologies like health technology. So a lot of our research areas, they work together. They don't just like focus on their own little area. They work a lot together, collaborate with other areas at the university to create the best things and the best research projects. Embedded systems. These things are always hard to tell, and it might change, but some people do say that we're world leading in this field. At least the students in this field, they tend to know about us. I'm not in this field myself, so I don't dare to say anything about that, but I just mentioned what I've heard, that we're really, really good at embedded systems. Industrial economics and management is another field. Innovation and product realization, and educational sciences and mathematics. So those are the 6 current research specializations that we have. Like I mentioned, we have 2 campuses, one in Eskilstuna and one in Västerås. Most of the programs do have classes in both campuses. And as a university, we offer free bus service during weekdays. So it's really easy to commute if you have a class in the other campus, as apart from where you live. Most international students choose to live in Västerås. Because I would say that the majority of the classes for the international programs are located in Västerås. So that's the reason. But actually, the campus building in Eskilstuna is brand new and in a way nicer, technology-wise. Even though the one in Västerås is not that bad either. International students, they typically they come in and they're like, wow, oh, it's so bright, it's so light, because we use a lot of light materials, the Nordic style, I guess, with white and light wood, etc., which does create a light impression. And what can you do in the cities, in the area? Because in Sweden, studying is of course important, but studying isn't just studies. And this is a key factor to keep up that energy and to keep those results of you high throughout your studies. You need to do other things as well to charge your batteries and to stay healthy. And what can you do in the cities? Well, this is an area, although it's urban, it's very close to nature. So you can, depending on the season, you can go swimming in the lake, or in the wintertime you can go ice skating in the lake. That's really cool. You can go hiking or running in the summertime, or you can go skiing in the wintertime. If you're into horses, too many horses around, I would say, a lot of them, riding schools. You can play all kinds of sports, basically, that there is. There are theaters, there is a cinema, or several ones, cafes, restaurants, a lot of different things, and a lot of different organizations arranging smaller and bigger activities that you can take part in. Most of the time free of charge, but sometimes to a small cost as well. And if you're into wildlife, you can, most of the time, you can see deer. We get so tired of the deer, to be honest. The deer, they run around in our gardens, and they sometimes, they just run across the roads like they own the place. Foxes as well, not too common in the city center though, luckily. And once in a while, we even get a moose somewhere in the area. It's also not ideal because in the autumn, the moose sometimes comes to snack on the apples that fall down
Okay.
from people's trees in the gardens, and sometimes they eat a little bit too much, so they get a little bit intoxicated by this, and actually a bit drunk. So they can so wobble around and be a little bit irrational in their behavior. So it's not ideal with the moose in the cities, but it's cool to see a moose because they're huge animals. They're really big, and you don't really understand how big they are until you see one up close. So that is cool. If you want to see a moose in a more in a more structured way and sort of safe and controlled way, there are a lot of moose parks around as well, where you can go there. You can have a guided tour. You get to see and sometimes pet a moose, and it's most of the time a fence between you and the moose, which is it's a better way to experience the animal. And here are some pictures of the surroundings and the cities. The Dome Church in Västerås, and an overview of the city. A little bit from Eskilstuna there with the church in the background as well. A lot of churches here. And the picture from the winter, it's actually taken between the cities, right, on the bus ride between Västerås and Eskilstuna. It doesn't look like that quite yet. We're still in November, and the last 5 or 6 years, we've mainly had snow coming in January. So hopefully somewhere in the beginning of January, or even before Christmas, if we're lucky, we will have a scenery like that to enjoy, which is really cool and nice. So, and you're obviously more than welcome to reach out. I know that you have a great help and advice and guidance in JRK and their co-workers, but you're of course more than welcome to reach out directly to us as well. And here are some contact ways. So thanks a lot, and I hope that we have a lot of questions coming in here. See if I can stop the sharing.
Yes. Thanks, Johanna, for nice presentation. So it was really nice. I mean, we got to know, of course, I know, but I mean, again, all the time, I mean, refreshing my memories one more time, actually, about the universities more and more. So it was really great to know. By that time, actually, I will also come back to you few questions. But I mean, before that, we have a question here from one of the potential students. He said, actually, I have completed my bachelor's in business administration, distance learning under University of Derby, UK. Can I get admission for MBA without IELTS, as I have already obtained a British degree with English study programs instructions?
Yeah, I mean, the English shouldn't be a problem. I think I need to refer to the details on universityadmissions.se, which is the national application portal filled with information about requirements, etc. But it shouldn't be a problem since it is a degree from a British university. I noticed the word MBA. Currently, our program offer, our curriculum doesn't include MBA. So, but I hope that you can find another program of interest at MDU.
Yes. Shall I clarify something as well?
Please.
Okay. So actually, like if I'm not wrong, maybe these students maybe from Bangladesh or India, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, he asked it, but I mean in Bangladesh or like India, like in Asian subcontinent, I will say overall, like MBA is like quite common word we
Okay.
used to say from
Okay.
that parts. So MBA like is a Masters of Business Administration, all of us we know, but over there it's like very common, right? So but when even like a, even I was in UK for my bachelor degree, even in UK for business you do masters in business, all the time is MBA. That term they do use, but in Sweden actually they don't use that term much.
No, no, we don't.
Instead, we even in my masters, I used it. I mean, I did it in masters in entrepreneurship. So we don't use that MBA term here,
No, we
rather
don't.
than use masters in this, masters in that, and so on.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
that
it is,
has,
on the other hand, it is almost same thing,
it is. Yeah,
almost nearby. I
yeah,
mean, but that's the thing. So I think it is okay for the most of the students. So even though like in I mean as Johanna already mentioned that like in Mälardalen University we do have a international masters in international marketing. So and it is 1 year programs, and the tuition fees will be around less than 50,000. This is what I can tell you, like I think 49,000 something if I'm not wrong from my memory. So it's really good price and so on, and 1 year, so you can really finish the master's program very quickly actually.
yeah.
So
That's
you can think of it.
the tuition fee is the amount that you mentioned is per installment. So
Yes,
the
yeah.
total tuition fee for
Total of
bachelor.
course like around 10,000 euro if
Yeah,
I say it, convert it into
yeah,
euro. So
yeah.
still it is like compared to other countries I will say it is really good.
It is. Yeah,
It
it is.
is really good. And on and also like even from my of course Johanna already said that, but even from my own experiences I will say mostly you do not need IELTS as you studied, I mean, from UK. But of course, like to tell you even more details, actually, we would like to see the documents so that, like, based on the documents, we can assess the file even more and more. So, in that case, please feel free to contact us on the screen. We do have our contact details. Please send us the documents, and then we can go for more details assessment. Actually, but mostly you don't need it, and even if you need any other help we can assist you, just to let you know. So hope we have answered your questions.
And that is really a great thing that you students can benefit from this collaboration that we have, Abjit, is that because as a university ourselves, for example, our admissions office, they don't do any pre-assessments. They
Or they
don't
will
look
never
at,
do.
they never do. And the study advisors, they can see if somebody is eligible or not usually, but we aren't allowed to do that as a university in that sense, where there are much more strict regulations around it. But this collaboration enables you to give students an idea, like, am I eligible or not? Because obviously as a student, before you apply somewhere, you want to know this. Do I have a chance or don't I? So maybe I
Exactly,
should
exactly.
choose another program where I am eligible for. And this is where your guidance comes really into
Yes,
comes into play. It's a
exactly.
good opportunity for the students.
So and also maybe like a little bit we can talk about scholarship maybe.
Yeah.
Little bit maybe we didn't discuss about it. So in general, like I mean, see, I know like you do not have a scholarship for Bangladeshi students, but you do have it for other countries. So if we just share it like little bit, so it will be nice for our students. Even later on, they can have a look actually.
Yeah.
So could you please let us know a little bit about the scholarship?
Yes, absolutely. We do offer scholarships in the form of tuition fee waivers. And actually, we have quite a favorable offer when it comes to the scholarships, because currently they are over 100% tuition fee waivers. So this is, if you are lucky and are granted a scholarship, you don't have to pay tuition fee at all, which is obviously very beneficial. On the other hand, then there are less scholarships to compete about. that. So we do really recommend you to keep a backup plan if you intend to apply for a scholarship, because if you don't get one, if you don't get granted one, it's a bit too late in the process to start looking for another option to fund your studies. So it's better to apply for the scholarship, but at the same time investigate other alternatives, educational loans, or I don't know. There are different ways to solve that problem. Currently, we offer the scholarships for master's level only. This is something that is being discussed at the university, because we do get a lot of requests and questions from students from bachelor's level who are obviously also interested in getting a chance for scholarships. But this is how it looks like right now and for the upcoming academic year. So for master's level only. And there are some countries that are excluded. They're not eligible for the scholarships, just because Sweden has long-term development collaboration with those companies. Some African companies in Bangladesh, as you mentioned as well. But it's clearly listed on our website with the Mälardalen University Scholarship Program page. Another thing that is quite important to keep in mind, but you know that already, Jit, and you can guide the students, is that if you want to go for applying for one of our scholarships, you need to rank us as number one in your list of programs that you're applying for.
No, it is really important. I mean, of course, like you want to get the scholarship from, actually it is not only Mälardalen University, it is for any, Swedish universities usually. It's like that.
It is, yeah.
Whoever you want to get the scholarship, you must have to give them first priority. It makes sense.
It does.
Also, it's really good strategy. Like once upon a time, it was not like that. Actually, like a couple of years back, but now all of the universities are following that. It's really nice, so that like it shows actually how serious you are to study that program. And that's why you put them as first choice.
Yeah. And obviously we always, like during the assessment process and the application admission process, we always have the ambition to, or try to sort of assess you for the first priority, your first priority first. So if possible, you do get admitted. If you're eligible, you do get admitted to your first choice before usually we even check your eligibility for the second choice. So your first choice and the priority, the number of programs in your priority is very important.
Yes, it is very important. And even it is not only for university, but also even for the migration, because they check actually this kind of things actually. What kind of programs have you set it actually when you are applying for the programs? So if they see, for an example, you applied for one programs here and one programs there, like seems like you don't know what to study. For example, one from science background, one from commerce background, and one from sociology background, then they get confused actually. Would you like to achieve in your life?
That's
that case actually, mostly, even though you maintain all of the things, but mostly you will get a negative decision from the migration, because they will be confused. So this is another mistake actually when students are making their applications, they do actually.
Yeah, I know. And we see that because last year was the first time we had the chamber music program in our curriculum for the international application round. And obviously it's a very niched program, and not too many students. We don't have a big batch of students to recruit from to that program. But we got a fair number of international applications. But when looking through the applications, it was so clear that some students just like randomly threw in, like, okay, this sounds good, tick, I'll add it to the basket, but yeah, it's just unnecessary work, and it does not give a good reflection.
No, exactly, because and even from their point of view, I would like to add something. Even they don't have much option to add, in that field.
No.
So just randomly add it, you know what I mean? They're not like, okay, it's like that. I know. I know.
Yeah.
So students should be careful about that and so on. I mean, though there is less program or many programs, they should be stick with the what they want to study actually. When it's even especially when they're applying for the university for the admissions, because it will reflect their results. What will they get from the migration as well?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Which
And
of
it's
it?
also a wise idea. Speaking of the migration agency and the residence permit process, because it is a lengthy process, and many times you get called to an interview at the Swedish embassy. And in that interview, you might be or you will be asked to tell a little bit about the content of the program that you are admitted to if you become admitted, and let's just say that it's wise to have those things under control. That you do read up on the course content, the program content, the program layout. You don't have to know it in detail. You don't have to know the names of the teachers, for example, or who's the head of the department. That's not what they're going to ask. But they want you to be able to show that you know what you're going to study, and that you know
Exactly.
how you're going to use the knowledge in your future
Yes,
career. That you
it
have
is
a
very
plan,
important.
basically. Yeah.
It is very important, and sometimes students makes the mistake over there.
It's unfortunately very common.
I mean, so actually, like this is how actually they can prove themselves, like whether they're truly students or not. Actually,
Yeah. Yep.
if you are truly students, you must have to know, like, I mean, what are you going to study and how will you be benefited out of that.
Yeah.
And with, I mean, you don't have, I mean, but sometimes they memorize just the things what is not needed at all. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the distance from Stockholm, I mean, central station to Mälardalen University?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
have to memorize that, come on. I mean,
No.
no one will judge your knowledge by that,
No. 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 That's true. No.
because no
This
one
year we
no
had
one
a
cares about, I mean, who was the, even I don't know, like was the, I mean, distance from Växjö to Stockholm is still, I don't know, I'm living in Sweden for 7 years, so if you
yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Exactly.
need to know, you know what I mean, I just
Yeah.
get into the train and it takes me to Stockholm, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's what
So
you need to know. Yeah, that is true. No, but then although I think sometimes the embassy, the staff there, they do ask tricky questions
no, it
and
is,
so on.
but
But
they do, but still I think they can handle it very,
yeah,
I mean, smartly, you know what I mean? So
they
if
do.
they say, hey, I mean, I didn't check it, it's totally fine. I mean, they never give the decision based on that, because you
Yeah.
don't know what's the distance in
No,
between this and that.
no,
They
exactly.
cannot.
They can't. No,
Yeah,
no.
they sometimes ask these kind of questions to make them confused.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
Just to make them confused, you know what I mean? And then if they think, oh, they made really mistake, it's not like that mistake, they can answer it very smartly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Now
of
we had
course they should
a
know what kind of programs they're going to study, and as you said, how will they be using it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
whether they do have relation to study this program. I mean, whatever they have done previously, whether studied or even in their job, so if there is some relation
yeah.
with that, so this kind
Exactly.
of things actually migration mostly looking for.
Yeah, they are in the but obviously that's this is a later matter as well, and both you and us, mostly myself, here at the university are there for you as students to
Yes.
support you during
No,
this
exactly, exactly.
process. So
Yeah, maybe we'll come another session and so on, and we'll talk about
yeah.
it. And maybe shortly we'll just put one more thing, because regarding essay scholarships, um, Johanna, would you like to say something? Just very shortly. I mean,
Yeah, actually,
very shortly. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
the Swedish Institute, which is a national organization working with all Swedish universities and promoting studies in Sweden, or Sweden as a study destination, they have national scholarships that might be available for you. The easiest thing is to check that out yourself, because the number of possibilities and uh, the format of the possibilities, they differ depending on where you're from and which level you are intending to study. So the easiest thing is to check out studyinSweden.se/scholarships. And then you can also tick in where you're from, your nationality, and the page will then filter the results for you. Super smooth way of finding national scholarship opportunities.
Exactly. And the good thing is about that, like if you get it, you don't have to pay anything. It's like it will cover your full tuition fees plus around 10,000 SEK you will get it per month. I mean, as a grant. So that is fantastic. But at the same time, of course, it is very, very competitive.
Yeah.
The success rate of that is like around 2 to 3%.
Yeah.
The candidates who applies and candidates who get the scholarship, so it is 2 to 3%. But of course, I mean, when you will be applying in Sweden, I will say if you have a potentiality, please check it out.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, of course, and
Nothing to lose,
No, you can definitely apply for both an SI scholarship
and university scholarship
and a
at the
university
same time.
scholarship as well, because
Yes.
obviously you cannot get both, but but there is no conflict in applying for
No,
both,
exactly.
because to maximize your chances.
Yeah, so that's really good thing. And maybe we can focus on a little bit about like a admission time, as it is going on and so on.
It
Please.
is indeed. Yeah, the application period is currently ongoing, and the last application date is 16th of January.
Yes.
Some of the programs and some of the universities, I know most of our programs tend to stay open for a little bit for late applications, but we strongly recommend you not to apply late. Because of several reasons, really. For one, you lose your eligibility for scholarship, like by the minute past the deadline, and there is no way that you can become eligible for the scholarship if you apply late. Also, the chances of getting admitted, even if you are eligible, is slimmer than if you apply on time. And the whole process of the residence permit, etc., it becomes slightly delayed. Our university is really good and prompt when it comes to handling late applications. So when we do accept late applications, we make sure to handle them as soon as we can. But there is always at least a slight delay in terms of when you get your admission letter or your notification of selection results, as it's called in Sweden, and when you then can start the process of actually coming to Sweden. So yeah, please do apply before deadline, before 16th of January, and make sure to have all your documents ready as well. And you
it is 1st of February actually. You must have to make the application fee and documents. I mean, either you have to submit the documents or you have to, I mean, request your universities to send the documents to university admission in Sweden. I mean, all of the documents and payment should be done by 1st of February. If in whole process, even if any single things will be missing in whole process, then it will be considered as late applications. As how it could affect you, already you wanna mention that actually.
Yeah, so it's actually wise to submit it if you already know that you're going to study in Sweden, which we hope that you intend to. Sweden is a great country in many ways. Then there is no real need. If you have your documents ready, please do submit your application as soon as possible, because right now the national admissions officers, they I wouldn't say that they have spare time, because obviously they don't.
No.
But they have a little bit of more space now compared to
understandable. It is.
So if you submit
because
your
they're
application
not crashing,
now, no, they're not crashing, so which is good. So by submitting your application now and your documents, you might get an earlier assessment, and then also an earlier notification if something is missing, because that's something that the university admissions do. They do submit or send notifications if something is missing.
Yes.
So
Though even so, the good point is that, for an example, let's say you did everything, but now still there is something missing. So you got to know before the time is over.
yes,
So you can work on that and you can finish it up, and then still
it's
you will
still
be, I
on
mean,
time.
on
Yeah,
time. But
yeah,
otherwise, you might be late.
exactly.
So that's the difficult part, being honest with you. Like students from different countries, sometimes we get tired of telling them these things, as they know, like a application is open till uh, January 16th and so on.
Yeah,
So they're a bit late. They think, okay, you do have time and this, that, but they don't try to understand actually what could be the
the consequences.
consequences.
No, I know. This is obviously something that I'm very used to as well, and it might be a cultural thing in Sweden. We are quite punctual, and the
No, I
deadline is
know.
a deadline. So, yeah,
I
so
know.
even though I myself is not really pro that kind of Swedish strictness, but but yeah, uh, it's very regulated in that sense in Sweden, and we cannot make any exceptions either. And also, as a university in Sweden, most of the Swedish universities are governmental agencies, meaning that we are not allowed to act any way we want. We can't just make decisions of our own, like so. Because if we make an exception for one student, we have to
Do
provide
it for
all
everyone.
the other students with the same possibility. So this is something that is it's good to keep in mind sometimes, because it's one thing to potentially be able to do it for one student, but when we're talking that we have 20,000 students and that all students should receive the same possibility, yeah, then it's a different story, really.
Yes. So yeah, this is the really important things. But I mean, so please, dear students, I mean, whoever is watching our session now, or even you will be watch later on, it doesn't matter. But I mean, we'll request you, please apply on time. So
Yeah, please do.
I mean, it will be, you will have really positive consequences. And on the other hand, also, like, see, even if you want to apply for the scholarships and other things, for every scholarship, most of the universities, they ask for the motivation letter and other kind of documents. So if you know which programs are you going to apply, then you will have more time to prepare your motivation letter. If you write a motivation letter just an hour, and if you write a motivation letter spending maybe 1 week, there will be much differences
Yeah, yeah, they
to
will.
make it better.
Yeah, they will
So
definitely.
I will request you, all the students, please, you are watching it to now or even later on, please, but I mean, apply on time. It will
Yeah,
save, I mean you will get really better result of that.
yeah. And if
That's
you
for
have
sure.
any questions, please do reach out to JRK,
Yeah.
because they're going to provide you with great help and guidance. They've been in here for a while, collaborating
Yes.
with MDU and other Swedish universities, so they know their stuff.
So these are the things. um Johanna, do you have any other topics to add on it?
Uh, Not really. I think that we have covered
Covered all of the things, I think.
most, yeah, the most important
Most
things
of
at
the things,
least.
and
Yeah,
I think even also whoever has joined with us, like I mean, they
jumped
got all
in.
of the
Yeah, late.
answers actually. So that's why, like, we didn't get many questions, of course. And on the other hand, I've shared with you one thing, like the World Cup things are going on actually all over the world.
They are. They
So
are.
people are like more crazy for football and so on. So that is another things, I mean, nowadays.
Yeah,
But I mean, good thing is that, I mean, this video will be recorded, and even people, I mean, students from different parts, I mean, they can watch it later on as well.
yeah,
So this is
yeah.
the things, I mean, we are working
That
on
is
it.
good. Oh, it's of course important to charge the batteries, like I mentioned, to do stuff that makes you happy and that you're passionate about. So if football is one of that, yeah, go ahead and watch it. But education and like it's really your future. So it's also good to spend some time to
Yes,
look into this as
yes,
well.
yes.
So, but it's good
This is the
that
thing.
that this session will be recorded. They can watch it
Yeah, they can
after
watch it
this.
later on. They can watch it later on. That is the important thing. So anyway, like, I would like to say thanks to Johanna for joining us today here. I know you are very busy, but still you have kept the time to us. So it was fantastic session with you, and thanks for all of your support during all last years, and hope our collaboration will go longer and longer and so on. So before we finish, actually, if you have any final comments to your students, I mean, even maybe right now they are here, or even they will look at it later on. So if you would like to make any comments, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, just I also just want to thank you for watching this presentation, for joining the session or watching it later. It's been a pleasure to be here. I'm really happy with the collaboration we have with JRK, and I know that you support the students in a very good and professional way. And we as a university, we appreciate the students that we get from JRK as well. They are, when I talk to the teachers, and I do, I really get good feedback
Thank you so
about the
much.
students that we get from you. So yeah, I just hope that more of you are looking at studying in Sweden. It's a great country in many ways. And there are some challenges as well, but dare to challenge, dare to be challenged. I think that is a good way to conclude this presentation. And thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So thanks to everyone, whoever you are watching the session today, I mean, or later on. Thanks to everyone and watching this session. And please, if you have any more questions about studying Mälardalen University, even study in Sweden, in general questions, please feel free to ask us on the screen. You do have our contact details. Please feel free to contact with us. Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks again to Johanna for joining us here today. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.